Level up loading. Fight feelings, face facts. Hi everybody, welcome back to Level Up Loading, Fight Feelings, Face Facts with yours truly, Shay Shay. I have been missing you guys. I'm not sure if you are following me on any of my social medias, but your girl has been going through it, okay? Hold on one second. Okay. Your girl has been going through it. Unfortunately, about a week and a half ago, I had a situation happen that has been one of the main reasons why I haven't been able to, show up for you guys. So I wanted to kind of give you guys a story about that and also spread some awareness about something that has happened to me quite a few times. And I don't feel like it's talked about a lot, and it's considered one of the silent killers, specifically for women of color, just because of the lack of health care and the lack of advocacy for us in certain healthcare scenarios. And that's not to say that it does not affect other women, but the factors of the society that women of color live in kind of makes it a much more profound problem for us. And so I just want to dive into that real quick. I'm not really talking about leveling up right now, other than leveling up your awareness about pulmonary embolisms, blood clots, deep vein thrombosis. I'm not sure if I'm saying it right. Don't talk about me in a group chat, okay? I call them DVTs. Most people call them DVTs. Most people call pulmonary embolisms PEs. Doctors, of course, are known for their acronyms. But yeah, I just kind of wanted to shed some light on what happened to me. So I just want to go into this saying that I have a very high tolerance for pain, which can be a gift and a curse a lot of times for me, simply because I can take a lot. This is pink lemonade, by the way, y'all. Your girl's on medicine, so taking it easy on the alcohol for right now. But anyway, I have a high pain tolerance. I also really despise going to the doctor when it comes to serious emergent situations, because I hate staying. And the last time that I went to the hospital for a PE or pulmonary embolism, which actually originated in my leg, which is what DVTs are, they're blood clots that are in your legs, and then they somehow break off and then they go into your lungs, which is what a pulmonary embolism is. The dangerous part about that is because obviously your lungs and your heart are very closely connected and very closely aligned. And so in cases where that a DVT in and of itself has its own discomfort, but it's not life altering. Your leg swells, your leg hurts. It does cause blood circulation, so that is definitely still something to take very seriously. And I wouldn't wait for it to get bad like I did. In my defense, this is my third time around. The first time, I am sad to say and embarrassed to say, I thought that I had just got a cramp. Kept getting leg cramps. I thought I had a cramp in my leg that just wouldn't go out, and then it extended for quite some time, to the point of like, I was managing the pain pretty good, going to work, all that good stuff. And I just got to a point where I couldn't really walk. My leg, I couldn't put pressure on it. I started to self-diagnose myself because I'm just like, I don't feel like this is just my leg. Like, this is nothing too crazy. You know, you think it's just my leg. I pull something, you know, you get in the hot tub, it feels better for a little bit. You ice it, it feels better for a couple of days. And you think you're good, then it comes back. And like I said, just pretty much just being in denial. I'm sorry if you hear that. It's my valet trash. We have valet trash in my unit, and so they're coming to pick up trash, and they're kind of loud. But yeah. So they're really loud. But anyway, um, seriously. Anyway, y'all, my neighbor is very animated to say the least. Um, he's been quiet all this time. As soon as I start recording, it's like, let's have a free for all. But anyway, started off with my leg. Eventually, I couldn't walk. It was getting to the point where one of my legs was bigger than the other, and I'm like, okay, like enough's enough. So I took myself to the hospital. I was in pretty good condition. I casually drove myself to the hospital. Um, I had started to feel better, which is such a trick of the enemy. I don't know how you guys feel about that, but I had started feeling better, and I almost talked myself out of it because I had been on Google, which, of course, I know doctors frown upon because they're tired of us diagnosing ourselves. But when I started to look at my symptoms, I knew that I was having trouble breathing, like extreme trouble breathing, and I'm still recovering from that now, just so you guys know. But like I was having, this is my first one. Just to be clear, this was my first time experiencing a pulmonary embolism. And yeah, I couldn't breathe really well. My leg, of course, was a big issue. My foot was a big issue. I just started to look at some of the things that they were saying, and I was like, okay, I think I have a blood clot. And I wanted to just go ahead and look because I knew that it was life threatening, and I had started looking at stories about people who had just passed out and died and all this crazy stuff. So I went and they did the test. I went to the emergency room. You know, I walked in there lackadaisically, and they're like, okay. Actually, they rushed me back pretty soon, which this was back when I was living still in Chicago, which is pretty much a big deal for an emergency room in Chicago. But I wasn't mad because whatever gonna get me seen so I can get up out of here. Little did I know. So they rushed me back, and not really urgently, but they did get me back very quickly. Which I was like, okay, this only happens when it's something super serious, but whatevs. So I'm thinking like they're gonna give me some muscle relaxants, you know, give me a shot or something, and then send me my way. Unfortunately, that was not the case. They did my testing. They tested my blood. They did my ultrasound. They did a CAT scan. Is it a CAT scan or MRI? Yeah, a CAT scan, I believe. They did X-rays on my chest, my lungs, and everything. And then I had a team of doctors come in, and basically their bedside manner was amazing. Um, basically tell me that I'm going to be staying, I'm going to be going to the ICU, and that they're surprised that I'm alive. Which I understand, you know, this being my first time ever hearing something like this. Like, I have never had a surgery before. At this point, I had never had so much as a stitch. I had never had anything really. So it was kind of like, ICU, but what that stands for intensive care unit. I just came here because I had a little limp, leg hurt a little bit, and I can't catch my breath. Like, I'm not on my deathbed, y'all wilding. Anyway, fast forward, I was staying in intensive care for like 3 days, I think, 2 or 3 days, and then I wind up going back to another regular room for another 2 or 3 days. I stayed at the hospital for a total of 5 days. I was put on blood thinners. A really, we had an idea what the cause of the embolism was, but we really didn't know, and we just kind of went with it. Stay on these, get these clots down. Stay on these blood thinners, get these clots down, and you know, we'll see how it goes. Fast forward some time, I went to the hospital. Maybe like 6 months later. I'm paranoid though at this point because like anytime my leg hurt or if I walk up a flight of stairs, I'm looking like, okay, is this regular tiredness or is this my chest? Like, you know, and then also you have residual pains that come with having had one. So it's like not only am I paranoid that I'm getting another one, but I'm also probably dealing with some of the residual effects from the previous one. So you have to deal with that, of course. But I went to the hospital. Thankfully, I was fully insured. I think, yes, I was. Because they said nothing was wrong with me and go home. I stayed in the hospital that was only for, I went to the emergency room and I was only there for probably like maybe 10 hours. The emergency room was very crowded, did not have a bedroom for me. I was in a hallway lined up in cots. But I was happy that nothing was wrong with me. Went on about my merry way. Followed up with the doctor that they had hooked me up with. Everything looked pretty good. And I was kind of told that, you know, it's probably because of the birth control, you know. I was on birth control for literally years. And then also just being abusive of other contraceptive methods. And full transparency, y'all, please slow down with those plan Bs. I'm being transparent with you because that is not a method of birth control, for one. For two, it's very dangerous I'm not really an advocate for birth control at all at this point because artificial hormones really jack up our bodies. So that's another subject for another time. Maybe I'll dive into that deeper later. But for now, I just want to let y'all know, be careful with those. They're not playing about that's not being a normal form of birth control. You're jacking yourself up. And that's not to say that I, you know, was using them often, but I was using them much more often than I should have been using them, and that was recommended to be used. It was just not okay, you know what I mean? Different time in my life, but it happened, and I just want to make sure that I'm being very open with you guys so you guys do not make the same mistakes that I made. So we kind of just went with that. Of course, I've stopped all of any type of form of hormones. I can't be on birth control at all at this point because now my risk for getting another one is more profound and I can get them a lot easier. Okay, so second time I was all clear, nothing happened, we're good. Doctor's like, you're good, you don't have to keep taking this medicine, you don't have any clots anymore. Cool, I get off of them. I want to say maybe like a year later, let's say a year later, foot started hurting. Same familiar feeling, and this time I know what to look for a lot more, you know. I know what to look for a lot more. So, foot started hurting, legs started hurting. I do what I gotta do, though I hate it. Go to the hospital. I think I have a PE. I think I have a DVT and a PE. Sure enough, I do. The hospital that I went to, which was a very calm, cool, collected hospital, I was hoping to get some quick help service and get the heck out of there. No, I need to stop doing that because just go to the big hospital because that's where they're going to take you and then you're going to be paying for ambulance rides, okay? Which I just got a bill today for about $750 for one, and I had 2 ambulances this time around, so. But anyway, so yeah, I got there and they did my ultrasound and they did my CAT scan and my x-rays and all this stuff, and sure enough I had one, and I had to be transported to another hospital that actually could help me and have the capability for an emergent situation. Luckily for me, I caught this one very early with my paranoia because it was fairly small and I was able to just get back on the blood thinners and go from there. Like I was able to, I was not even in the hospital for 24 hours. Like, I don't know if that was good or bad, if they should have done that, but I was not mad, okay? Because I was like, Lord, please just don't let me stay up in here for days and days and days. Like, I had even brought my work bag with me, like, just in case I had to stay here. But luckily I didn't. They gave me my meds, hooked me up with a prescription, um, and pretty much kind of like sent me on my way. So now I have to go back to my primary care doctor. He's like, okay, this is the second time. Um, this is, you know, we know that you are more susceptible for them, but you might have to be on blood thinners for life. We're not sure. We're gonna run some tests. Da, 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 da. So in the meantime, he's doing all this blood work for me. I'm getting everything situated. You know, he's getting me my blood thinners and just kind of just trying to figure out why I keep getting them. And I know that it is hereditary on my my mom's side of the family right now. So, excuse you, it very well may just be a genetic thing. So, in the meantime, I'm taking my blood thinners. I'm feeling healthy as an ox. I decided I want to move to Nashville, Tennessee. I want to leave Chicago, Illinois, and I want to go to Nashville, Tennessee. Got a new job, a new place, a new car, a new life. Which I did and I do, and I'm so thankful for that. But in the meantime, in between time of that, it's already hard enough to find a primary care doctor that you're comfortable with when you're in a place that you are familiar with. It is extremely hard to do that when you are in a place that you are not familiar with. You don't even know how far something is. Like when I'm at home, I can look at the address and say, okay, this is on that side of town. Now that's too far. And that's not an excuse because we have Google Maps and we have Waze and we have a plethora of other ways. So I came here, I tried out this one doctor and I did not like them, and it really turned me off. It really turned me off to the doctors, and I kept postponing it. I kept putting it off, procrastinating, saying, okay, I'm going to get with a doctor. I'm going to get with a doctor. I'm going to get with a doctor. Looked up, I've been here for a year. I was feeling fine. I was feeling perfectly fine, but I also knew that I needed to figure out what was going on. I also needed to figure out if I had a clotting disorder, what's going on with my blood, you know, what's going on with my lungs, making sure they're still in good condition. And then also, of course, refilling my blood thinner prescription if I need to. And something about being in a new place just make you think that your life is just brand new and that all your woes from back home are gone. And I'm here to tell you that it's the furthest thing from the truth. Okay? Handle your business no matter where you are, okay? Because you do not want to end up like me. So I didn't have any really leg problems this time. Like my legs hurt anyway, just because I think the original DVT that I had was the original blood clot that I had was really bad. The one where I had to stay in the ICU for 5 days was really, really bad. And like my veins kind of are a little weakened in my legs a little bit because of how big I had them in both legs. Like full. Like it was real bad. Your girl is definitely I'm one of God's favorites. I don't care what y'all say, okay? Because he be taking care of my little crazy self. I don't know. I don't know how he did with me, but anyway, this last time I hadn't had really any leg or feet problems, but out of nowhere, like really out of nowhere, I had this random breathing problem, and so this is not normal for me because I'm like normally when I've gotten them, I have foot problems, leg problems, and then I noticed the breathing. This time I didn't really have that, so I was like, okay. So I'm just thinking like maybe I just really was in denial when I talked myself out of it being that because it wasn't the cookie cutter way that it always happened. And so I remember Thursday, it was a Thursday, I was at work and I walked from my desk to the bathroom, which is not really a super, super far walk at all. I wasn't walking super fast. And I got to the bathroom and I was winded. I'm talking about not like, oh, child, like winded, like, I'm like, what? Now, mind you, I wasn't even breathing that badly when I had my other PEs. So I'm like, okay. And I started to, like, my heart started to feel a certain type of way. And I'm like, oh my God, what is going on? So, that was Thursday. I'm like, I was just tired, which of course, you not being able to get enough oxygen to your brain and into your rest of your body will make you very tired, among the other health things that I have going on. And so I'm just like, I don't feel like dealing with this. I got home from work. I came in. I went to bed. Thank God I woke up. I felt better though when I woke up the next day. I was okay. And then I got to work and I started to notice the same pains. I'm like, oh my God, I just got to get through this day. Just, Lord, just please get me through this day. If I can get through this day, it's Friday, I'll be able to just get some rest. I just felt like I just needed rest. I was just really, really tired more so than anything. But like, this is just on Thursday and Friday. I just felt really tired. I have some breathing problems, but it was like not extreme at this point yet. So Friday comes, I get off work, I get home, lay down, I'm sleeping. I'm talking about sleep the whole day until the next day. I had an appointment on Saturday to go get my oil change. I have been postponing that because of my new work schedule. Well, not my work schedule, but my new work location. And so I finally got an appointment, and so I'm like, I gotta keep this appointment. So I'm literally like, God, you are so good for keeping me, because I'm literally taking baby steps walking, because if I'm walking in even 5 steps, I feel like I need to take a break and I'm about to pass out. Like I said, high pain tolerance, denial, those are very horrible combinations. So I wind up going to get my oil change. I come home that whole Saturday. I went to bed the whole day, slept. I'm like, I just have to get some rest. I just need to sleep. I'm tired. I'm drained. The only relief that I felt was just not moving. So if you're not moving, eventually you're going to go to sleep. And this may be TMI, but I really don't care. I was in here closeless, knocked out under a fan, because the circulation of the air made me be able to, it felt like I could breathe better. And so I'm like, okay. So I kind of felt better, woke up late Saturday and I was like, okay, I feel better. I got some rest. I think I'll be okay. Sunday, I woke up and it was like, no, you are not going to be okay. My heart was like, I could just feel my heart beating so fast. And I wish I could show you guys how my room is, but if you know me in real life, you know, and you've been to my house, my bedroom is like right here, and then my bathroom is like right here. There's no reason why I should be about to pass out from walking there. Like, literally, it's probably not even 10 steps. Not even 10 steps. I would say probably 7 steps, and I'm short. So if I was taller, it'd probably be even less. But I'm like, this is abnormal, and I have to go to work tomorrow. I cannot go to work like this. I don't even know if I can make it through this day. Like, it was so bad. So I went to the bathroom. My longest 9 steps to the bathroom ever. And after I used the bathroom, I got up, washed my hands. I don't remember anything that happened after that. I woke up on the side of my bed. I guess I must have got up from the toilet and, finished doing everything, because I was clean. Wasn't a mess or anything. And I was on the side of my bed and I passed out. Like, I was sitting up but I was passed out. And so I opened my eyes and I'm like looking around, very confused. And I'm just like, what the heck? Like, what is going on? So of course, I'm the only one out here for the most part. I don't really have family out here. My family's in Chicago, which is about a 6.5, 7 hour drive. I didn't really want to alarm them but I knew that I needed to get some help, and I knew that I was not going to be able to drive there, and I also knew that I didn't want to risk anybody else's life if I'm fainting. You know what I mean? And so I get off the floor. I'm like, I have to get off the floor. Get off the floor, get under the fans, because that circulation, like I said, that fan blowing in my face was the circulation that I needed in order for me to be able to breathe a lot better. So I wind up falling back asleep. I'm falling back asleep. So I wake back up and I'm like, okay, I gotta make this call. So I text my mom and my sister and I'm like, just so you know, I'm not trying to alarm you guys, but I'm about to call the ambulance. Can't breathe and I'm not really feeling well. I just fainted. So yeah, it's not to alarm you. No big deal. I'm over there like, girl. So, yeah, I was butt naked, like I said. So I had to get some clothes on, like at least some type of clothes on, which was a task because all my clothes were like literally, I wish guys could see the closeness of it, but I could not walk and I was fainting. So I did not want to move from my bed. And luckily I'm a single woman who had did laundry not that long before this. And so I had some stuff on my bed. So I like found some drawers to put on and I just put a shirt on. And I was like, that's all I got. I was trying to find some pants. I couldn't find them without like getting so faint and lightheaded. And so I called 911. They came. They were here in like 2-3 minutes. Like no lie, they came. And luckily I have a smart lock. I can control my lock from my app because I have my phone with me, thankfully. And I was able to open the door for them because I would have not made it to my front door. Like honestly, if I did, it would have took forever. I opened the door for them. They came in. It was a whole bunch of firemen too, y'all. I'm trying to find y'all a brother-in-law, and y'all got me out here looking like straight death. Okay, literally. I didn't know they was gonna send some found ones. I knew they was gonna send some found ones. All these little raggedy looking firefighters, and they gonna send the found ones to my house while I'm looking like this. Conspiracy, I think so. Anyway, I'm sorry, off track. So they came. They're like, well, because my hallway is kind of slim. They're like, the stretcher's not gonna fit right here, so we need you to get up. Can you stand up? We can help you. Stand up. We need you to get up, and then you can go to lay down on the stretcher that's in the living room. I was like, I don't know. Y'all gonna have to pick me up, but I'm like, okay, come on. So I got up, and I promise you, those steps. I had 4 men literally hoisting me up, and I still felt like the weight of the world was on my shoulders. So I finally got on the stretcher, and I passed out. Like not like, oh, I passed out. Like no, literally, I passed out, and I woke back up, and I was inside the ambulance. Or we were they were putting me they had already walked me out of my place. They had grabbed my purse and my keys. I had my charger with me because I was like, I want to take my phone and my charger. I had those 2 things in my hand when they were helping me to I need to have some type of communication. Nobody knows where the heck I'm at. So that was forefront of my mind. But yeah, I passed out as soon as I got on the stretcher. And I woke up, we were outside. They were loading me into the ambulance. And they were talking to me, and I was looking at them like, I don't know what the fuck you're saying. I don't know what you're saying, beloved. I don't know. But I finally, I was confused because I'm surrounded by men. I'm just outside. I'm in the stretcher of an ambulance. You look at me doing all this stuff in my face. I done passed out. I ain't never passed out a day in my life, so this is a very new experience for me. Needless to say, they rushed me to the hospital, and I did have a pulmonary embolism. So when I got there, the hospitals they rushed me to did not have the capability to care for me. And this time I did not have the luxury of taking myself to the hospital. So I was forced to get another ambulance to the other hospital. Oh, I ended up being in ICU again. I stayed in ICU the whole time. I really didn't need to be in ICU the full time. They couldn't find me a room. So I kind of just hung out there, which I was like everyone's favorite patient because ICU is more so for people that are really, in a bad shape, which I was, but not as much as people that normally are there. They wound up telling me that I had to have a surgery or a procedure to get the clots out because I had a huge, they're called saddle PE. A PE is basically when a blood clot goes to your lungs. A saddle PE is basically when the clot is so big and it's growing and it's blocking, it's right in the middle. It's right in the middle of your lungs. And so this time it wasn't something they could just give me blood thinners for. Like, they had to go in. Literally, they went in through my Uchiwali, okay? They went in through my Uchiwali. Well, not in through it. Okay, let me not say that because that sounds like they went in through it. They didn't go in through my Uchiwali. They went in through my growing, and in the growing, whatever, y'all need to know all that. But they went in through my growings right by my Uchiwali with a catheter, and then they had to snake it up into my lungs. And I was awake for this. I had light anesthesia, but I was awake for this. And there was the weirdest thing in the world because I could feel them pulling it out. I could literally feel them in my lungs, taking out the clots. And I'm sedated, I'm sedated, my eyes are going in and out, but I'm also fully awake and fully able to hear and talk, and they're talking to me and everything. And so once they got done with the procedure, I don't think it was really that long. Time means nothing when you're in that type of situation. Especially I'm alone. I didn't have any family here yet. My parents, my mom, my sister were on the road to me. I love them. My ride or dies. You guys, when I make it big, ooh, y'all don't even understand how much I might not even get myself nothing for the first because honey, them my riders right there for sure. They hopped on the road right away. But I was still by myself when the procedure happened. And I picked my head up and the doctor showed me, he's like, look at all this. And it was this big, it was just a huge thing of clots that they pulled out. They stitched me up and took me back to my room. A few hours later, my mom and my sister got there, and I stayed there. Basically, I was there for making sure that my no backlash happened from the surgery or procedure or whatever they want to call that. And also, they were trying to get my blood level numbers down. And I convinced them to let me leave because the blood thinners that I'm on, I'm gonna have to get labs and stuff anyway. And so I'm like, I'm here. I just started a new job. I'm uninsured. I'm spending 4 days in the ICU, and I'm not in any intensive care need. Now, I didn't force them to let me go. They actually kept me much longer than I think they should have. But at the end of the day, I'm just really happy that I made it through. I will definitely be making lifestyle changes. I am a blood thinner for life type of girl now. Unfortunately, this has made that something that's very apparent. I need blood thinners. Looking into holistic ways. So I was kind of managing it holistically before, but I think whatever's going on with me genetically might be a little bit too intense for the holistic route, or I need to figure out a more potent way. I don't know. But for right now, Big Farm got me, gotcha, girl. I gotta do what I gotta do to stay alive. I don't want to have my loved ones, my family worried about me, and I definitely don't want to have them waking up in the middle of the night to come drive 7 hours because I am passed out somewhere miles away. So I said all this to say, guys, please listen to your bodies. Fight the feeling. We're going to still bring it on home because that's who I am as a person. Fight the feeling of denial. Fight the feeling of procrastination. Fight the feeling of delusion. And face the fact that we are humans. Our bodies needs, it needs nutrients. It needs to be checked on. It needs to be listened to. Yeah, you gotta listen to your body, baby, because if you don't, who will? If you don't, who will? I really, really hope that this can help somebody, and this to me is like not really a podcast episode. I think this is more like a story time. I think that's what they call them on YouTube all the time, story times. But I really had to come in and share what happened to me and why I haven't kind of gone. I'm still getting my voice back. I'm still getting my breathing. It's getting better every day. It's still a struggle, but it's nothing like compared to what it was. I actually looked at a video that I had not released because I was in the hospital. I had recorded it the day before I started feeling bad. When I started feeling bad for real, I had recorded it the day before that, and like that will never see the light of day. It was so cringe. I'm sitting there literally gasping for air between every single sentence. And I'm like, this is ridiculous. How much in denial that I was about the situation. But guys, I'm so happy that I am still here. I am still kicking, and I'm hoping that this will spread some awareness about it. I am also going to put some links in the description for my podcast and my YouTube channel. If it's something that you're interested in looking into, learning more about, I definitely think it's worth knowing. This is something that has killed athletes, people who are in the best shape of their life, eat right, drink right, work out, have access to some of the best doctors in the world, and they have died from it. It is one of the silent killers. It is one of the contributing factors to some of the heart problems, and heart disease is a very big killer of Black women, of women, and of people in general. But I'm just saying, it's a silent killer. And there are a lot of times where we're not taken seriously as a Black woman. I only say this because I've experienced it myself, where my concerns have not been taken seriously. I'm so happy that when it has come to the life-threatening things, though, I have, thank goodness, been taken very seriously. But there have been some times where my concerns, I just didn't feel heard, or I just felt like I wasn't being treated with care. And sometimes that can be such a turnoff when it comes to going to the doctor and getting yourself checked and certain things, but we have to do it. You can't just go around just checking your Uchi Wally all the time, but not checking the other stuff, because the Uchi not gonna Wally if your heart ain't, okay? Your lungs ain't working, that Uchi not gonna Wally. I'm gonna tell you that right now. Personally, my Uchi has not been Wallying, and it will not be. But that is neither here nor there. I thank you guys so much for listening, and I'm going to call this one a day. You guys have a good one. I'll talk to you later. Bye. Oh, I'm cute.